Welcome back to the channel. My name is Nicu, and for a couple of the next videos I together with you will build this website. If we scroll, you already are presented with some animation on the list, and if we hover on one of them, we'll have the corresponding image on the left scrolled into view. And if we click on one of them, we will have this like layout transition animation using framer motion and a little bit of gsap. And if we scroll here, we will have the smooth scroll with the help of locomotive scroll. And as a bonus, I have added our custom cursor that we've built like a couple of videos ago. And if we scroll down, we have this end paragraph that is moving to the next page. So yeah, I'm really excited about this project, how it looks, and I cannot wait to show you how I made it and to get to the finish of this series. For the first time on this channel, I'm gonna use Next.js framework. Next.js is a React framework made by Vercel. It's like let's say competitor of Gatsby. Many of you ask me to create one project, or at least one project in Next.js. So the structure of the project is is a little bit different from Gatsby, and how I bootstrapped the project was create a Next.js project. If we are searching, so getting started, and I just use the create next up latest, I believe. And initially you will have these pages folder, and here we will add here we will add our home, or actually we already have our home, but we will add the dynamic component for our individual pages. How about the styles? Next.js prefers, like, for example, if this is a home component, there should be like a home.modules.css, but I don't kind of like the way that you write those kind of modules, so I prefer this structure for Next.js, like an older vanilla website structure for CSS, and we will write basically raw CSS for this project. And I have some like already written files here, like for example the font, let's say the reset file. I've imported a typography, and this index CSS is like importing all of these folders files, and then the index CSS is imported in the main CSS. What I've also done is I've imported the component, the custom cursor component, and I've modified it a little bit. So actually it's for ZDindex, otherwise it's basically the same as it was previous tutorials where we've actually built a custom cursor. So again, we have here components, the cursor, we'll export this index, and for the pages and for the utils, I have here a CSS function that handles our index. Like we have a preloader, a cursor, a project for our plug project, and the navigation. For mixins, variables, we will use the CSS way of writing variables, so we can actually import them globally everywhere without importing everywhere in our CSS files. And I believe here, yeah, here we are importing the locomotive scrolls CSS. Like if you remember, in Gatsby we would have the component where we would actually have imported the locomotive scroll CSS there. Then in the utils folder we have our dump data that will generate the images, like a title maybe, and some data. And actually this color is quite important because I believe we are showing the background. We're using it for the background. Yeah, so other I've added a context folder, a hooks. For packages, we will have a locomotive scroll. We will need to write a small random function, so we have the lodash random. Then we need SAS, of course, and gsub, framer motion. This is kind of the main structure of the project, and then eventually we will like put components, put files into this folder and work from here. So we're gonna create here an app file, and this one will let's create a direct function. Let's call it my app, and inside here this component that's gonna be like wrap all of our routes, and especially home and like dynamic, where I call them slug, or each item route. We'll have here our let's see, cursor manager, and inside here we will have a fragment, and then we will import the custom cursor. Now this will not do anything for now, hence we didn't use the component that's been passed to this function. So as a prop, we will get app props from Next, and here we have our component. This one can be anything, and any component, or actually any route component, and page props. And how we gonna use it? We gonna put it like here and pass the page props, and close the component. And one thing left is if we go to our localhost, let's refresh, we see the home, nothing is changed. But if we go back and let's import the styles, so styles.main, if we go back we should be able to see our custom cursor. Amazing. So let's go and create this project nav component. Yeah, so under our components folder, project nav, and let's have an index.6 TypeScript file, and here we will have a React function. Let's change the name to project nav, and what we gonna do is let me see. So as a render, we have here an unordered list, and let's give it a class name, project nav, and inside of them we'll have a data which is coming from our dump data, map project, and it's an arrow function, and we will return a list. Yeah? Let's pass the key, or actually let me zoom. I forgot to zoom to 20. I'm sorry. Yeah, much better. And list, yeah. So we pass the key to project.slug, and here we'll have an a tag, so a link, and we'll pass the title project.title, and let us pass kind of that's all. Let's go back and import this here. So projects nav. If we refresh, we see something like this. So we will go under our style folder under layout, and let's create here a nav file. Let's import. We'll use nav, and back to nav. Here we will have our projects nav, and we have here the index utils, yeah, mix functions, the name. So we see that the nav is already imported. Let's pass the index that.nav, and let's import file here. So utils fine. So let's make it a min height of one viewport height, padding left 50 pixels. So if we go back, we see something already here, and we have our position fixed, and we just displaying them in a column, and that's kind of all. Let's go to paste style for the a tag. So we give it a font, family, a size, and a weight and line and color. Let's also add the styles for our list. So if we hover, we see something like this. That's now for our project nav. Now we need to display this image layout here. Yeah. So for this, we will have to use our index home file. Yeah. So this will only be rendered on our home component, or actually the route. What I'm gonna do is here I'm going to create a div. Yep. We will pass the class name to be home list, and we will iterate again through all of our data, and we will get the project, and we will return. What we're gonna return here is the home list image. Let's go to components, and let's just create a new file, home, with this rect function. Let's go back here and home list image. This component will take as a props all of these props. Yeah. So we have to pass them. So key first of all is project.slug URL. So we only need our like hero project.media of 0. So I know that my hero is first from the array. Alt is project about, and slug is project dot, and we get the URL, the alt, and the slug. And if we should render here just an image, and we give it the class name home list image, ID is slug, source is URL, alt is alt. We go back here, have our home list image, and then we go back to home. Yeah, we're already here. Yeah? And if we go here and refresh, we choose them. Yeah, so we now have to style them. So this way we will display them in a column. We should go in our components, home list, CSS. Let's import it here. Use home list. Back here, we'll have our home list class. I'll pass the CSS. We give them a width. Yep. So we already have something. A width. We give it some room. Position them absolute to the container, and we will center them and give a 100 viewport height, and then inside of them we'll have this scroll. And for our image, we give it a width, so it's basically 30 viewport width. Height is 60% of the viewport height, margin, some margin, and some aspect ratios. We refresh, we see this layout as we have on our teaser. So that's mostly with the structure of the layout on the home page. Now let's go and create the dynamic page and style it when we hover on one of the items. The structure is in the following way. You have this format, so brackets and some ID. In our case, it's gonna be slag or an ID or a route or something else, and this is the path to that ID. In our case, we're gonna have home/slag. Yeah, so we should put the slag.js in the root folder of Next.js. In our case, it's gonna be here in pages. We create here a slug. Let's call it single project. And here we would have a handle route a function. So past handle route change, and this will get a new route string, and this function should be passed to our a tag. So on click, we give it handle route change, and as a prop we pass the slug from the project. And we can come here and say router push and pass the slug here, so a new route. Let's check and see if this works. Yep. So if you can see here in the navbar, we press on each item and the route changes. And the fun part, as I said, the nav and the mouse stays the same because we used the app file for wrapping each route. So in this slug file, we should be able to create our DOM. What we're gonna have here is as the first image is the one that we see on the home page, and then we will have some paragraphs with some description, and the rest is gonna be the rest of the media. And at the end we'll have that end wrapper or end container that will, when it's gonna be visible, it will go to the next route. So here we should create a new div. Let's give it a class name single project page wrapper. And to not forget, this page wrapper is a class. We're gonna add it later. Inside here we would have another div with class name a page container. Inside we'll have another one, class name page grid, and then we'll have here different components. And let's go and create a new folder here for our single project components, so single project. And inside we'll have 3 different components. One is for animated image, one is for media section, and one is for project description. So the animated image is a component. It's gonna have a placeholder. This is going to be the background, and then we have the image itself. The media section, it's gonna be a section here, and animated image component, and we will have as props these 2 parameters, and we will give them to the animated image component URL, alt URL, and let's give this one a class name media wrapper. And for our project description, what we want to have is this. We will have a section, and we'll have the project description, as I said, and the project director and the photographer. Yep. And here we'll have some common classes, and this one we will pass them, we'll create them here. Yeah, so we have the section, the italic, the underline, and the overflow hidden. So how we have our data, but how we know which component is it should be rendered, or what data should be rendered here. So we, with the help of some functions, get static paths and get static props, you can read them. Get static props, we can pass some data before the page is rendered. So in our case, we can pass the project before, or project data before this component is rendered. And in this case, we're gonna have a very nice website that's gonna work well with SEO. So for this, we are going to create here 2 functions: get static paths, which is an async, and we will have this code. We iterate for each data, and we return a slug, yeah, for the project. And then we have another function, get static props. This one will get this param, yeah, the slug, and we will find the slug from the data, which is our DOM data, and then we will return the found project from this function, which automatically will be returned to the component. And to make our TypeScript happy, you can write this little type definition. So our props, it's gonna be a project. Project dot props from props. As I said, the first image is our hero, and we can get our hero like this. Project might be undefined, so If not project, we return null. TypeScript doesn't know, so we return null. So finally, we can render our components. So media section, and we pass the URL first, media.url, and let's pass the index 0. Let's render for now. Yeah, so we have the image, nothing is styled yet. Project description, and description is project.about 3 times director and photographer. Let's close the component. Yeah, we see here. And now we have to iterate through all of the other images. Project, actually not project, but left medias. That map media and media section. URL is media.url, and as an index we should pass this index, but since this is not the first image, add it by 1, and let's add the key as media.url. Close like this. Yeah. Yep, so we see the images. Now what we have to do is to add the styles. So let's go to on our components here in our styles folder, and let's create an animated image.scss, and let's import it. Use animated past the style. So we have our animated image, the placeholder, and the media image from that. It's a sibling to the placeholder, and we give it a padding bottom. So we make this one like a portrait kind of mode. We give it an overflow hidden, and then we place the placeholder with the help of absolute and make it a full height of the container. And then the media image, the actual image, we put it like make it 100% width and height. So if we go to our layout, let's add here a project.scss file. Yeah, let's import it in our route for per index per folder, project, single project style. So we want all of them to be in a column. We make them fixed. So if we hover and see the single project, we make it 100% width, and then we add the z index, the function from our util functions file. Then we add some padding to our grid, page grid. Yeah, so we are left with something like this, page grid. And then for each of the media wrapper, we say that margin top is 100 pixels, margin bottom is 100 pixels, and the width for now we're gonna give it like a 300 pixels. I'm not sure why it's not showing yet. The placeholder blocks it. Oh yeah, I get it. Let's go back to our animated image and let's take it for now. Background opacity. We'll need it for animation later. We don't have a scroll yet, so let's go here and let's comment this one. And yep, and let's go to our app. Let's put the project nav on top. Yep. So we kind of get the feeling. Now let's go and add the styles for the paragraph, and in our components we have here our paragraph action. Here we're gonna have the project description wrapper, and let's give it a width of 40%, padding around 4 viewport width, 4 viewport width, 40 pixels. Yeah. The pointer events all, the font which is family monospace, monospace, the size 1M, and text transform uppercase, project description wrap. Yeah, and let's give it a mix blend mode difference. So that's kind of all for the first part of this whole series. Is we've added the basic structure of the project, and we'll work from here with animation and with states, different states of the whole project. What we've added so far is this project navbar, the hero images of each project, and when we hit one of the nav, we are redirected to a dynamic page, and here we are rendering the information or the info about the whole page or the whole project actually. And we have here some different images with some paragraph. Yeah. So in the next part, we will work mostly on this slug page, where we will add the smooth scrolling with the help of locomotive, and we will add some randomness here. We've seen from the trailer, from the teaser, that each image kind of has a different size and different place on the x-axis, and I want to add some randomness here.